Victoria was born with a face so beautiful that it was deadly. From the moment she entered the world, something strange happened. Everyone in the hospital who saw her died instantly. The doctors, nurses, even visitors who came too close, all of them fell lifeless to the ground. The only people who survived were her parents, who loved her deeply but feared the curse she carried. As Victoria grew, her parents realized they had to protect her from the world, and the world from her. Her mother decided to homeschool her, keeping her away from everyone. Victoria was smart, very smart. She learned everything quickly, reading books and solving math problems like a genius. But even though she was so intelligent, she was lonely. She didn't have friends, and she never played outside like other children. She could never let anyone see her face. When Victoria turned 18, her parents decided it was time for her to attend university. They couldn't keep her hidden forever. But to protect others, she wrapped her face tightly with cloth, covering her beauty. Only her eyes peeked out from behind the layers of fabric. She was always careful not to let anyone see her true face. At the university, Victoria became known for her brilliance. She aced every exam, finished every assignment before anyone else, and her professors praised her. But she didn't care about the praise. She just wanted to get through the day without hurting anyone. Despite her intelligence, some students didn't understand why she covered her face every day. Rumors spread quickly. Some said she was hiding scars, others thought she was just weird. One of the loudest voices came from Bella, the school bully. Bella was always showing off, thinking she was better than everyone else. She liked to pick on people, and Victoria became her favorite target. One day, Bella marched up to Victoria in front of a group of students. "Hey, Victoria, why do you always cover your face? Are you hiding something ugly under there?" Bella sneered, folding her arms. The other students giggled, waiting to see what Victoria would do. Victoria stood calmly, her eyes fixed on Bella. She didn't say anything for a moment, then finally replied, "I bet you don't want to see my real face." Bella laughed. "Oh, come on, if you're not ugly, prove it. Show everyone here what you look like." Victoria shook her head, her voice steady. "Trust me, you don't want to see." But Bella wouldn't stop. Every day she would taunt Victoria. "If you're not scared, take that cloth off your face," she would say, and the students would laugh behind her. Victoria ignored them. She knew the danger. She didn't want anyone to die because of her. But no matter how hard she tried to stay focused on her studies, Bella and her friends wouldn't leave her alone. One afternoon, while Victoria was walking to class, Bella blocked her path. "Today's the day," Bella said, her eyes full of mischief. "You're going to show everyone. If you're not ugly, prove it." The crowd around them grew, curious about what would happen next. Victoria looked at Bella for a long moment, then said softly, "If I show you, it won't end well for you." Bella smirked, rolling her eyes. "Sure, whatever you say, you're just too scared to show your face." Victoria took a deep breath. She didn't want to hurt anyone, but she was tired of the constant teasing. She stepped closer to Bella and said, "You think I'm hiding because I'm ugly? You're wrong. I'm hiding to protect you." The crowd fell silent. Bella's smile faltered, but she didn't back down. "I don't need your protection. Take off the cloth or admit that you're a coward." Victoria's heart raced. She wanted to tell Bella the truth, to explain that her face wasn't just beautiful, it was deadly. But she knew Bella wouldn't believe her, so she turned away, refusing to give in to the bully's demands. As the days passed, Bella kept mocking her. "You're just scared of being judged," she would shout. But Victoria remained silent, focused on her studies. She didn't want to give Bella the satisfaction of a reaction. Still, the other students started whispering more. Why won't she show her face? Do you think there's something wrong with her? Maybe she's cursed. Joshua was one of the most handsome boys in the university. Almost every girl liked him. He was confident, charming, and very popular. But Joshua wasn't interested in settling down with anyone. He enjoyed all the attention he got. Bella, who always had a mean plan up her sleeve, decided to use Joshua to carry out her latest scheme. One day during lunch, she walked up to him, flipping her hair and smiling sweetly. "Joshua," she said, sitting next to him, "I need you to do something for me." Joshua raised an eyebrow. "What now, Bella? Another one of your tricks?" Bella grinned. "Oh, this one's really good. It's about that strange girl, Victoria. You know, the one who always covers her face." Joshua replied. Yeah, I have seen her. What about her? Bella leaned closer, her voice full of excitement. I want you to get close to her. Pretend to be her friend. Make her trust you. Then when she falls asleep, give her something to make her sleep deeper. Take off her face cover and snap a picture of her real face. Send the photo to me, and I will take care of the rest. Joshua frowned. Why do you care about her? She's not bothering anyone. Bella rolled her eyes. She thinks she's better than everyone else, hiding her face like she's some big secret. I bet she's really ugly under that cover. I want to show everyone what she's hiding. Joshua hesitated. He wasn't a fan of Bella's mean games, and this plan felt wrong. But Bella wasn't someone you could easily say no to. She had a way of pressuring people to do what she wanted. Joshua knew what Bella wanted him to do, and though he wasn't sure about it, he agreed. He figured it would be easy to befriend Victoria. After all, she was quiet and didn't have many friends. He started by sitting near her during lectures, pretending to be interested in what the professor was saying. At first, Victoria didn't pay much attention to him. She was used to people either ignoring her or mocking her from a distance. But Joshua was different. He didn't tease her or laugh like the others. He always smiled at her, which made her suspicious. One day, Joshua sat beside her in the library. Hey, he said, his voice friendly, you are Victoria, right? Victoria looked up, her eyes peeking out from behind the cloth covering her face. Yes, she said slowly, hope no problem. Joshua leaned back in his chair, pretending to be casual. I have seen you around. You seem interesting. I thought we could be friends. Victoria frowned. Nobody ever wanted to be her friend. Most people avoided her, and those who didn't usually had something mean to say. Why would you want to be friends with someone like me? She asked. Joshua laughed lightly. Why not? You're smart and you don't follow the crowd. That's cool. Victoria didn't respond. She didn't trust him, but he didn't seem like the others. He wasn't laughing at her or trying to make her feel bad. Still, she didn't let her guard down. Over the next few days, Joshua kept trying. He would sit next to her during class, walk with her after lectures, and bring her small snacks like a candy bar or a bottle of juice. Slowly, Victoria began to warm up to him. She started talking to him about her favorite books and how much she loved science. For the first time, she felt like someone was listening to her. One evening, Joshua told her they should study together in her room. You are so smart, Victoria, he said with a grin. I could use your help with some of these assignments. Victoria hesitated but agreed. She thought maybe, just maybe, she had finally found a friend. She even made tea for him when he arrived. Joshua smiled as he took the cup, but in his pocket was a small packet of powder Bella had given him. It was a sleeping drug. As Victoria turned her back to grab a book, Joshua quickly poured the powder into her cup. Here, he said, handing her the tea. You deserve a break. Victoria smiled behind her cloth, taking a sip. They talked for a while, but soon her eyelids began to feel heavy. I think I'm getting sleepy, she said, yawning. Joshua nodded, pretending to be concerned. You have been working so hard. Get some rest. I will pack up and leave. Victoria lay down on her bed, still holding on to the hope that she had found a true friend. Within minutes, she was fast asleep. Joshua waited until he was sure she wouldn't wake up. His hands shook slightly as he walked to her bed. He felt guilty. Victoria had been nothing but kind to him. But Bella's voice echoed in his mind. Take off her face cover and get a photo. Slowly, he reached out and began untying the cloth. With each knot he loosened, his heart raced. Finally, the cloth fell away, and he froze. Victoria's face was revealed, and it was unlike anything he had ever seen. She wasn't ugly, far from it. Her beauty was unexplainable, almost magical. It wasn't just her looks, there was something about her face that drew him in, something too powerful for words. But before he could even think, a wave of darkness hit him. His chest tightened, his vision blurred, and his legs gave out. He gasped for air, but it was no use. The overwhelming force of her beauty was too much for him to handle. In seconds, Joshua collapsed to the floor, lifeless. A few minutes later, Victoria woke up, feeling groggy. She sat up and noticed her face covering lying on the floor. Her heart sank. She looked around and saw Joshua lying on the ground, his eyes wide open and unblinking. Joshua, she whispered, crawling toward him. She shook his shoulder, but he didn't move. Panic filled her chest as she realized what had happened. He had seen her face, and now he was dead. Tears streamed down her face as she tied the cloth back over her head. "Why did you do this, Joshua? Why didn't you listen?" she cried. The noise attracted attention from other students in the dorm. When someone opened her door and saw Joshua's body, they screamed. Soon, security was called, and the police arrived shortly after. The officers found Victoria sitting beside Joshua's body, her face covered once again. "What happened here?" one of them asked, his voice stern. Victoria's voice trembled as she replied, "He saw my face. That's all it takes. I didn't mean to hurt him. I warned everyone, but no one believes me." The police didn't know what to think. Some of them had heard stories about her condition, but had dismissed them as rumors. After interviewing her parents and piecing together the events, they decided she wasn't a criminal. "This isn't murder," one of the officers said quietly to his colleague. "She's not doing this on purpose. It's something else." Victoria was released later that night. As her parents held her tightly, she whispered, "I don't want to hurt anyone else. Maybe I should just stay away from everyone forever." "Victoria," her mother said, sitting next to her, "you can't run and hide from everyone forever. I know you're scared, but you have to keep going. You've worked so hard to get here, and you can't give up now." Victoria looked down, feeling like everything was falling apart. "But Mum, it's so hard. People stare at me and they don't understand. What if they see my face and something bad happens again?" Her mother took her hand gently. "I understand your fear, sweetheart, but you can't let that stop you. You need to finish school for yourself. Don't let fear control your life. People may say things, they may stare, but that doesn't define who you are. You're strong, and you have so much to offer the world." Victoria wiped away a tear. "What about Bella? She always tries to make me feel small. She's been bullying me for so long. How do I deal with her?" Her mother smiled, brushing her hair back. "You have to mind your own business, Victoria. People like Bella will always try to bring others down, but you don't have to let her. Don't listen to what bullies say. Focus on your own path and keep your eyes on your goals. You are in control of your own story." Victoria nodded slowly, thinking about her mother's words. It wasn't going to be easy, but she had to try. "I will try, Mum. I don't want to hide anymore." Her mother hugged her tightly. "That's my girl. You can do anything you set your mind to. I'm here for you every step of the way." The next day, Victoria went to school, feeling a little nervous but determined to face her fears. She had made up her mind to ignore the bullies and focus on her studies. As she walked through the hallways, she tried to keep her head down and walk quickly to her first class. But when she entered the library, she saw Bella sitting with a group of girls. Bella immediately spotted her and stood up, walking toward Victoria. Well, here comes the ugly killer," Bella said, looking at Victoria. "Did your rich parents bribe the police to get you out? I'm sure that's the only reason they let you go free. You are just a monster hiding behind that cloth." Victoria's heart pounded in her chest. She had been expecting this, but it still hurt. She tried to ignore Bella and keep walking, but Bella wasn't done. "You think you're special just because your parents have money, don't you?" Bella continued. "You're lucky they're rich. Otherwise, you'd be in jail right now for killing someone. You're a freak." Victoria felt her anger building, but instead of running away, she stopped and turned to face Bella. "At least I'm not like you," Victoria said, her voice steady. "You have slept with almost every handsome boy in this school just to get attention. What's that make you, huh? You're the one who's a joke." Bella's face turned red. "It's none of your business who I date. You think I care about your opinion? I love fine men. Wherever I see one, I will make sure I have him. You should be ashamed, hiding away from everyone like a coward." Victoria stood tall, not backing down. "I'm not ashamed of who I am. You should be ashamed, though. Instead of focusing on your studies, you've been in this school forever and still haven't graduated. Maybe if you spent more time in class and less time trying to impress boys, you might actually finish school." Bella was quiet for a moment, then scoffed. "You are just jealous because I'm popular and you're a nobody." Victoria shook her head. "I'm not jealous of you, Bella. I'm focused on my future. Something you should try doing for once." Bella didn't have anything else to say, so she turned and walked back to her group of friends. Victoria stood there for a moment, her heart racing. She had stood up for herself. She had spoken her truth, and it felt good. A week later, a very handsome boy named Dennis arrived at the school. As soon as he walked through the gates, every girl couldn't stop talking about how good-looking he was. His tall figure, confident smile, and friendly eyes made him stand out from the rest. Victoria heard whispers about him as she walked down the hall. All the girls were in awe, and some were already daydreaming about him. When Bella first saw him, her eyes lit up. She immediately knew she wanted him. She turned to her friends and said, "I must have him, he's perfect." Some of her friends nodded, agreeing with her, but a few others rolled their eyes. They were tired of Bella's constant need for attention and her habit of chasing after any boy she thought was handsome. The next day, Bella, with a determined look on her face, walked up to Dennis in the hallway. Her friends followed behind her, whispering excitedly. "Hey, Dennis," Bella said, her voice sweet. "I've noticed you're new here. How about we become friends? I can show you around and help you get settled." Dennis didn't even look up at her. He kept walking, ignoring her completely. Bella's smile faded and her friends started to giggle. They couldn't believe it. Bella had been rejected. Bella stopped in her tracks, her face turning a little red with embarrassment. "He's just playing hard to get," she muttered. "Don't worry, I will get him. This is how men behave at first. They act like they don't care, but deep down they are interested." Her friends weren't so sure. They had seen this happen before. Bella always thought she could get any guy she wanted, but sometimes it didn't work out the way she planned. "I'm not giving up," Bella continued, her voice more confident now. "I know what I'm doing, and if he doesn't come to me, I will make him. I will use my money to get him. From the way he looks, I don't think he comes from a rich family," she said. "I bet if I offer him the things he wants, he'll change his mind about me." Her friends gave her doubtful looks but didn't say anything. They knew Bella's ways, and deep down, they wondered if she would succeed this time. Bella wasn't one to give up easily, especially when she had her eyes set on something or someone. Soon, Dennis started to like Victoria. He found her very friendly and smart. She was kind to everyone, and her intelligence amazed him. He loved talking to her during breaks, and soon they became close friends. Victoria was always happy to help him with schoolwork, and Dennis appreciated how well she explained things. The more he got to know her, the more he admired her. But not everyone was happy about their growing friendship. Dennis's friends noticed that he was spending more time with Victoria and less time with them. They didn't understand why he was so interested in her, especially since she was a bit of an outsider at school. They warned him to stay away from her, saying she wasn't the right type of person to be friends with. But Dennis didn't listen to them. He liked Victoria, and that was all that mattered to him. Bella soon found out that Dennis and Victoria were spending a lot of time together. When she heard this, she was furious. She couldn't believe that Dennis, the handsome boy she had tried to win over, was now friends with the one person she hated most. Bella's jealousy took over, and she stormed up to Victoria. "You think you're so clever, don't you?" Bella snapped, standing in front of Victoria. "You're a witch, using your tricks to steal my man away from me." Victoria laughed loudly, shaking her head. "Who's your man?" she asked. "Somebody who doesn't even know you exist. Keep dreaming, loser." She crossed her arms and looked at Bella with anger in her eyes. "For your information, Dennis and I are just friends. We are not dating, and we never will be." Bella's face turned bright red with anger. "Don't act like you're better than me," she hissed. "You don't belong in this school. You're nothing but a freak who hides behind that cloth." Victoria wasn't afraid. She stood tall and looked Bella straight in the eye. "I'm not here to play games or be in a relationship like you," she said calmly. "I'm here to study, and that's what I will focus on. Unlike you, who spends all your time trying to impress boys and be popular, you're the dumbest girl I have ever met." Bella's eyes widened with shock. She had never expected Victoria to stand up to her like this. She was used to bullying people into submission, but now Victoria was speaking out against her. "You will regret this," Bella said. "You think you're so perfect, but you're not. I will make sure you regret messing with me." Victoria didn't flinch. "Go ahead, Bella," she said with a shrug. "I'm not afraid of you. You can't scare me." Bella stared at her for a moment, realizing that Victoria wasn't backing down. Her usual tactics of bullying and intimidation weren't working. Frustrated, she turned and stormed off, leaving Victoria standing tall. When Victoria got home that day, she felt a mix of emotions. She was proud of herself for standing up to Bella, but a part of her still felt uncertain about the future. She went straight to her room and sat on her bed. Her mother was in the kitchen, preparing dinner, and Victoria knew it was the right time to talk to her. After a few moments, she walked into the kitchen and sat down at the table. Her mother looked up and smiled. "How was school today, dear?" Victoria sighed and began to tell her about the day. "Mum, graduation is coming soon, and I've been thinking a lot about it. I want to look nice that day. Elegant, with nice makeup, and for once I don't want to hide my face anymore. I'm tired of it. It's been so long, and I just want to feel normal like everyone else." Her mother's smile faded a little as she listened. "I understand how you feel, Victoria, but we've talked about this before, haven't we?" Victoria nodded. "Yes, I know, but I feel like I can't keep running away from it. I want to live a normal life. I don't want to hide anymore." Her mother gently reached out and took her hand. "You remember what the Prophet told us years ago, don't you?" Victoria felt a knot form in her stomach. She had always tried to push those words aside, but they always came back. "Yes, Mum. The Prophet said that the curse will only break when I find someone who truly loves me, someone who will love me for who I am, not because of anything else. But that means I have to wait for someone to fall in love with me first, and I can't make anyone love me. I can't force it." Victoria's heart sank. "But what if no one ever loves me? What if I'm always alone?" She felt tears welling up in her eyes, but she tried to hold them back. Her mother pulled her into a hug. "Don't be sad, my dear. It's not something you can rush. The right person will come into your life when the time is right, and until then, you focus on what matters most, your studies, your future. You don't have to worry about love right now." Victoria felt comforted by her mother's words, but a part of her was still troubled. She had been focusing so much on her schoolwork, pushing love and relationships aside, but deep down she wanted to live a life where she didn't have to hide. She wanted to be seen for who she really was, not just for the curse that she carried. She sighed and looked up at her mother. "I don't want to live like this forever, hiding away from everyone. There's someone at school though, his name is Dennis. He's just a friend. We talk sometimes, and he's really kind. But I know that I can't be more than just a friend to him. I can't let anyone get too close to me, not with this curse hanging over me." Her mother smiled softly. "I'm glad you have a friend like Dennis. It's important to have people who care about you. But remember, your friendship with him doesn't have to be anything more. You need to focus on yourself, Victoria. Don't let anyone pressure you into something you're not ready for." Victoria nodded, but she still felt confused. "But Bella, she's always coming after me, always trying to make me feel small. She keeps saying things about Dennis, like he's her man. I don't even want to deal with her, but she keeps making trouble because of a boy." Her mother gave a small laugh. "Bella doesn't understand you, Victoria. She's always looking for attention from the wrong places. Don't let her drag you down. You are worth so much more than anything she could ever offer." Victoria smiled a little. "I know, Mom, but sometimes I just wish things were easier. I wish I didn't have to hide my face, that people could see the real me." Her mother looked at her lovingly. "You are perfect just the way you are, Victoria. You don't need anyone's approval to be happy. And when the time comes, when the right person enters your life, they will love you for who you truly are." In school, the tension between Bella and Victoria had reached its peak. Bella was determined to have the last word, especially after Dennis's rejection and the way Victoria seemed to gain respect from more students. Bella, however, couldn't let that slide. She spotted Victoria near the cafeteria, calmly reading a book and minding her business. With her usual entourage of friends behind her, Bella marched over, ready to make a scene. "Madam Facecover," Bella called loudly, drawing attention from everyone nearby. "Graduation is in 2 weeks. Are you going to keep hiding your ugly face under that rag, or will you finally show us what you look like? Or are you scared the school will shut down when we all faint from the horror?" Victoria looked up slowly, calm as ever. She closed her book and stood up, meeting Bella's glare with her own sharp gaze. Students started gathering around them, sensing another round of drama. Victoria smirked lightly and folded her arms. "Thank God graduation is finally here. After all these years, Bella, you're finally leaving this school. I was starting to think you were planning to live here forever." The students around burst into laughter. Bella's face turned red, but Victoria wasn't done yet. "Let me guess," Victoria continued. "You must have slept with most of the lecturers to get to this point. It's the only explanation for why someone like you is finally graduating after being here since the dinosaurs walked the earth." The crowd erupted in louder laughter. Bella's jaw dropped in shock, but before she could speak, Victoria raised a finger, silencing her. "And don't act like you're some rich girl, Bella. Everybody here knows your parents are struggling in a small village while you're here pretending to be something you're not." Bella's friends exchanged awkward glances, some of them whispering to each other. Victoria took a step closer, her voice calm but cutting. "Oh, and let's not forget," Victoria added, "your so-called big girl lifestyle. Everyone knows you've been sleeping with sugar daddies to fund it. You're nothing but a fake, Bella. A poor girl pretending to be rich, bullying others to hide your insecurities. Pathetic." The students couldn't hold back anymore. The laughter was uncontrollable now. Some were whispering to each other about Bella's sugar daddy scandals, and others were recording the scene on their phones. Bella's eyes filled with tears of rage and humiliation. "You don't know what you are talking about," she screamed. "You think you're better than me because of that face cover. You're nothing, Victoria. Nothing." Victoria shrugged. "If I'm nothing, then what does that make you? A jealous, bitter little girl who can't stand to see someone else shine. Good luck with your sugar daddies, Bella. Maybe one of them will finally help you buy a clue." Bella couldn't take it anymore. She turned and stormed off, her face burning with shame. Her friends hesitated, some of them sneaking away to avoid being associated with her. As Bella disappeared, the students around Victoria clapped and cheered. "Finally, someone put her in her place," one of them said. "That was legendary, Victoria," another added. Victoria simply picked up her book, gave them a small nod, and walked away with her head held high. Bella had been desperate to make Dennis notice her. She tried everything. Wearing her tightest dresses, walking past him with exaggerated confidence, and even pretending to need his help with schoolwork. But Dennis wasn't interested. One day she cornered him near the school cafeteria. "Dennis," Bella said with a fake sweet smile, flipping her hair, "I don't know why you're wasting your time with that face-covering girl. You and I could be the hottest couple in school. Don't you see it?" Dennis sighed, clearly annoyed. "Bella, can you stop embarrassing yourself? I don't like you. I never will. You're always chasing after boys, causing drama and thinking you're better than everyone. It's pathetic." The words hit Bella like a slap. She stood there frozen, trying to process the insult. Students nearby, who had overheard everything, began whispering to themselves. Bella, for once, had no comeback. She turned and stormed off, her face red with humiliation. Later that evening, Dennis decided to tell Victoria how he truly felt. He found her sitting under a tree, her favorite spot on campus. "Victoria," he said softly, sitting next to her. She turned to him confused. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong," Dennis replied. "I just need to tell you something. I have been thinking about it for a while now." Victoria raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" "I love you," Dennis said, his voice steady but full of emotion. "I don't care about your face cover or what people say about you. You're kind, smart, and different from anyone I have ever met. I don't need to see your face to know how special you are." Victoria's heart raced. "Dennis, you say that now, but what if I'm ugly? What if what's under this cover is something you can't handle?" "I don't care," Dennis said firmly. "You're beautiful to me, no matter what." He invited her to his place that weekend to spend time together. Victoria hesitated, but eventually agreed. When she got to Dennis's apartment, they talked for hours. They laughed, shared stories, and grew even closer. As the evening went on, Dennis leaned in and kissed her gently. For the first time, Victoria felt truly cared for. She let herself relax, but in the moment, Dennis accidentally brushed her face cover and it slipped off. Victoria gasped and pulled away, covering her face with her hands. "Not again," she cried. Tears streamed down her face. "I can't let this happen again. You're going to die, Dennis." But Dennis didn't move. He didn't flinch. He simply looked at her, his eyes full of kindness. "Victoria, nothing's happening to me. I'm fine." Victoria slowly lowered her hands, her tears still falling. She stared at Dennis in disbelief. "But everyone who sees my face..." Not me, Dennis said with a smile. I told you, I love you. Maybe, and I think, that's why the curse doesn't affect me. Victoria couldn't believe it. She hugged Dennis tightly, still crying, but this time her tears were tears of joy. When she got home that night, she told her mother everything. "Mum," she said, her voice trembling, "Dennis saw my face, and nothing happened to him. He's alive. He loves me, and I think the curse is broken." Her mother's eyes filled with tears of happiness. She hugged Victoria tightly. "My darling, I have waited for this day. You've found someone who truly loves you, and now you're free from the curse. God has answered our prayers." The next day, Victoria went to school with a new sense of confidence. For the first time in her life, she decided to walk in without her face covered. As she stepped onto the school grounds, heads turned. "Is that Victoria?" someone whispered. She's beautiful," another said, staring in shock. All the students were astonished. Bella, who had just walked out of the cafeteria, froze when she saw Victoria. Her mouth dropped open. "This is what you've been hiding?" Bella said, her voice dripping with disbelief. Victoria smiled calmly. "Yes, this is me." Surprised, "Maybe next time you'll think twice before judging someone you don't know." The students clapped and cheered for Victoria. For the first time, she felt free, free from the curse, free from judgment, and free to live her life as her true self.
Please tell me, are you enjoying the story? If so, tell me what lessons have you actually learned? I would really love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. And remember to support this channel, please subscribe, like the video, comment, just say something, even a word could literally mean a whole lot. So I want you to tell me what lessons have you learned from this story. Trust me, these are situations that most people actually go through. I'm sure some of you that are watching this story have actually gone through this situation. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear how you dealt with a situation that you were faced with.
After graduation, Victoria felt a sense of relief. She had worked hard, overcome challenges, and now she was ready to face the world. She and Dennis grew closer, their love blossoming with each passing day. However, Bella was far from giving up. Even after the graduation ceremony, Bella stayed bitter and jealous. She couldn't stand seeing Victoria happy and confident. It burned her even more that Dennis, the boy she had desperately wanted, only had eyes for Victoria. One day Bella called Dennis. She had somehow gotten his number. "Dennis, it's me, Bella," she said sweetly. Dennis frowned, recognizing her voice. "What do you want, Bella?" "Why are you so harsh with me?" she asked, pretending to sound hurt. "I just want to be friends. We could hang out. You know I've always liked you." Dennis sighed. "Bella, stop this nonsense. I'm not interested in you. You need to move on." Bella's sweet tone vanished. "Oh, so it's all about Victoria, huh? That ugly witch has bewitched you." "Don't you dare call her that," Dennis snapped, his voice firm. "If you ever insult Victoria again, you will regret it. And stop calling me." Bella hung up the phone, fuming. Her friends, who were sitting nearby, watched her in silence. Bella slammed her hand on the table, making them jump. "I hate her," Bella screamed. "I hate that ugly girl. She stole Dennis from me, and now she's walking around showing her face like she's some queen. I'll make her regret ever taking off that cover." One of her friends hesitated, then asked, "Bella, don't you think you're taking this too far? We're done with school now. Why don't you just move on?" "Move on?" Bella yelled. "Never. I'll do anything to make Dennis hate her. I will make her life miserable. She'll wish she never uncovered her face." Bella spent days plotting. She spied on Victoria and Dennis, trying to find a way to separate them. One evening she overheard them laughing at a small cafe in town. They were sitting close, sharing a meal, and Dennis was looking at Victoria with so much love that it made Bella sick to her stomach. "How disgusting," Bella muttered to herself. She stormed off, her mind racing with plans. The next day, Bella approached one of Dennis's old classmates, a girl named Grace. Grace had always been quiet in school, but Bella knew she could use her. She leaned close and whispered, "I need you to do something for me." Grace looked nervous. "What is it?" Bella smiled slyly. "I need you to spread some rumors about Victoria. Tell people she used her parents' money to bribe her way through school. Make them believe she's not as smart as she pretends to be. Also tell them she is a witch." Grace hesitated. "But Bella, that's not true." Bella looked at her. "Do you want me to make your life miserable?" Just do it. Grace nodded reluctantly, and Bella smirked. Her plan was in motion. The rumors spread quickly. Everywhere Victoria went, people whispered behind her back. Some even questioned her achievements. "Do you think it's true?" someone asked. "I don't know," another replied. "Her family is rich. Maybe she did buy her way through school." Victoria noticed the stares and whispers, but chose to ignore them. She told Dennis about it, and he was furious. "Don't let them get to you," Dennis said. "They are just jealous because you're brilliant and beautiful." Victoria smiled, but deep down, she was hurt. She thought about her mother's words, how she couldn't run and hide anymore. Meanwhile, Bella was still plotting. She wasn't satisfied with just spreading rumors. She wanted to humiliate Victoria in front of everyone. One day she told her friends, "I will ruin her reputation. Just wait and see." Bella's hatred burned like a fire. Bella couldn't stand seeing Victoria and Dennis happy together. When the rumors she spread about Victoria didn't work, she grew more desperate. She was determined to destroy their relationship once and for all. This time, she decided to set Dennis up, and she knew just the person to help her, Grace. Grace was reluctant at first, but Bella had a way of convincing people to do her bidding. She offered Grace a hefty sum of money. "Just do as I say, and you will never have to worry about anything again," Bella promised. Grace hesitated but eventually agreed. She felt trapped by Bella's manipulative words. The next day, Grace approached Dennis casually at a friend's party. "Hey Dennis," she said, smiling warmly. Dennis nodded. "Hi Grace, how's it going?" "Good," she replied. "I was just thinking, we've known each other for a while but never really hung out. Would you like to come over to my place? Just as friends." Dennis thought nothing of it. Grace had always seemed quiet and harmless. "Sure, why not?" he said. Later that evening, Dennis arrived at Grace's house. She had prepared snacks and drinks, pretending it was just a friendly hangout. Dennis relaxed, enjoying the conversation, but what he didn't know was that Grace had spiked his drink. After a while, Dennis began to feel drowsy. "I think I need to lie down," he said, his voice heavy with sleep. Grace quickly helped him to the couch, and as soon as he fell asleep, she began her plan. She staged the scene carefully, making it look like they had been intimate. Then she took pictures of Dennis and sent them to Bella. Bella grinned wickedly when she received the photos. "Perfect," she whispered to herself. Without wasting time, she forwarded the pictures to Victoria with a short message. "This is the man you love. Look at him now. He's just like every other guy." When Victoria saw the pictures, her heart shattered. She couldn't believe her eyes. Tears streamed down her face as she stared at her phone. "Why would Dennis do this to me?" she cried, clutching her chest. Dennis woke up at Grace's house feeling groggy. "What happened?" he asked, looking around in confusion. Grace pretended to be concerned. "You were so tired, you fell asleep. Don't worry, everything's fine." But Dennis felt uneasy. Something didn't feel right. He quickly left Grace's house, brushing off her attempts to keep him there. When Dennis got home, he tried calling Victoria, but she didn't answer. He called again and again, but still no response. Panicked, he decided to go to her house. When he arrived, Victoria refused to open the door. "Go away, Dennis," she shouted from inside. "Victoria, please, let me explain," Dennis pleaded. "There's nothing to explain," Victoria said, her voice breaking. "I saw the pictures. How could you do this to me?" Dennis was confused. "Pictures? What pictures? Victoria, please listen to me. Whatever you saw, it's not true." But Victoria didn't believe him. She was too hurt to listen. The next day, Grace called Dennis. Her voice was shaky. "Dennis, I'm so sorry," she began. "Sorry for what?" Dennis asked sharply. "I need to tell you the truth," Grace admitted. "Bella paid me to set you up. She wanted to ruin your relationship with Victoria." Dennis's anger flared. "You did what? How could you do that, Grace? I trusted you." "I know," Grace said, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry. I'll tell Victoria everything. I will fix this." "It's too late," Dennis said coldly. "You have done enough damage. Our friendship is over. Don't ever contact me again." Dennis hung up and immediately tried to reach Victoria again, but she still wouldn't answer his calls. Heartbroken and frustrated, he sat alone, wondering how he could ever fix this mess. Meanwhile, Victoria was at home, struggling with her emotions. She loved Denise, but the pictures haunted her mind. Could she ever trust him again? Bella, on the other hand, was thrilled with her success. She laughed with satisfaction, thinking her plan had worked. Grace couldn't live with the guilt. She knew she had to make things right, so she called Victoria. Her hands were shaking as she dialed the number. When Victoria picked up, her voice was cold. "Grace, what do you want?" "I need to tell you something," Grace said, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry for everything. Bella paid me to set Dennis up. She made me invite him over and drug him. Those pictures you saw, they were all fake. Dennis didn't do anything wrong." Victoria was silent for a moment, letting Grace's words sink in. "So Bella was behind all this?" she asked. "Yes," Grace admitted. "She hates you so much, and I was foolish enough to go along with her plan. I regret it, Victoria. I really do." Victoria let out a small laugh, but there was no humor in it. "Tell Bella she needs to try harder next time. Goodbye, Grace." Victoria hung up the phone and sat in silence for a while. Her heart ached, but she also felt a strange sense of relief. She now knew the truth. Dennis hadn't betrayed her. The next day, Dennis called her again. "Victoria, please, just let me explain," he began, his voice full of desperation. "You don't need to explain," Victoria said softly. "I know everything. Grace told me about Bella's plan." "You do?" Dennis asked, surprised. "Yes," Victoria replied, "and I have forgiven you." Dennis sighed in relief. "Thank you, baby. I promise I will never let anyone come between us again." A week later, Dennis invited Victoria to meet his parents. He was nervous but excited. "I want them to know the woman I love," he told her. Victoria smiled shyly. "Are you sure? What if they don't like me?" "They will love you," Dennis assured her. When they arrived at Dennis's family home, his mother greeted them warmly. "Oh, Dennis, is this her?" she asked with a wide smile. "Yes, Mom," Dennis said proudly. "This is Victoria." Dennis's mother immediately pulled Victoria into a hug. "You're so beautiful. Dennis has told me so much about you." Victoria blushed. "Thank you, Mom. It's nice to meet you." But Dennis's father was less welcoming. He frowned as he looked at Victoria. "So you're the girl my son has been talking about," he said, his tone stiff. "Yes, sir," Victoria replied politely. Dennis noticed his father's disapproval and pulled him aside later. "Dad, what's the problem? Why are you being so cold to Victoria?" His father sighed. "Dennis, I thought you would marry the girl I chose for you, someone from a more influential, wealthy and respected family." "Dad," Dennis said firmly, "I love Victoria. She's smart, kind, and everything I've ever wanted. I'm not marrying someone just because you chose them. This is my life." His father shook his head, but didn't say anything more. Dennis's mother, on the other hand, spent the rest of the evening chatting with Victoria. She was impressed by her intelligence and humility. "You're perfect for my son," she said, squeezing Victoria's hand. When they left, Dennis turned to Victoria. "Don't worry about my dad. He'll come around eventually." Victoria smiled, though she still felt nervous. "I hope so. I don't want to cause any problems in your family." "You won't," Dennis assured her. "You are part of my family now." Meanwhile, Bella heard about Dennis introducing Victoria to his parents and was furious. "She just won't go away, will she?" Bella muttered to herself. "Fine, if I can't ruin her relationship, I will ruin her reputation for good." When Victoria got home, she went straight to her mother's room. Her heart was heavy, and she needed someone to talk to. "Mama," she began, sitting on the bed beside her mother. "I met Dennis's parents today." Her mother looked up from the Bible she was reading and smiled. "That's good, my dear. How did it go?" Victoria sighed, her shoulders slumping. "His mum was really nice. She liked me a lot. But—" she hesitated, her voice trembling. "But what?" her mother asked, her smile fading. "His dad didn't like me," Victoria admitted, tears welling up in her eyes. "He wanted Dennis to marry someone else, someone rich and from a big family. I'm afraid he'll convince Dennis to leave me." Her mother reached out and held Victoria's hand. "Don't say that, my daughter. Dennis loves you. He chose you, not someone else. His father may not see it now, but he will come around, trust me." "But what if he doesn't, Mama?" Victoria asked, her voice breaking. "I don't want to lose Dennis. I love him so much." Her mother wiped the tears from Victoria's cheeks and spoke softly. "My child, love is strong. It can overcome even the biggest challenges. Dennis has already shown you that he's willing to stand by your side, and as for his father, I'll pray for him." God has a way of changing hearts, even the hardest ones. "Please do, Mama," Victoria said, her voice filled with hope. "Pray for me. Pray for us. I don't want to lose him. He means everything to me." Her mother smiled warmly. "I will, my dear. But you must also pray. Ask God to guide you and Dennis. If this love is truly meant to be, nothing and no one can stop it." Victoria nodded. "Thank you, Mama. I will keep praying." That night, as Victoria lay in bed, she thought about Dennis. She remembered how he had defended her, how he had chosen her despite everything. She clutched her pillow and whispered a prayer. "God, please help me," she said. "Help Dennis's father see me for who I really am. I don't want to cause trouble in their family. I just want to be happy with Dennis. Please make a way for us." Days later, Dennis's father decided to have lunch at a quiet restaurant in town. He had been thinking a lot about his son's relationship with Victoria. He still couldn't understand why Dennis had chosen her, and it troubled him. As he sat sipping his coffee, a young woman approached him. It was Bella. She had spotted him from across the room and immediately remembered him from their graduation ceremony. A sly smile crept across her face as a plan began to form in her mind. "Good afternoon, sir," Bella said politely, standing beside his table. Dennis's father looked up, surprised. "Good afternoon, young lady. Do I know you?" Bella smiled sweetly. "Not exactly, sir. My name is Grace. I'm, a friend of Dennis and Victoria from school." Hearing this, Dennis's father sat up straighter. "Oh, really? A friend of my son and Victoria?" "Yes, sir," Bella lied smoothly. "I was quite close to them during our university days. I've been meaning to reach out to you about something important, but I wasn't sure how." Dennis's father raised an eyebrow. "Something important? What is it?" Bella leaned closer, pretending to look concerned. "Sir, I don't want to interfere, but I feel it's my duty to warn you about Victoria. She's dangerous." Dennis's father frowned. "Dangerous? What do you mean?" Bella sighed dramatically, as though what she was about to say pained her deeply. "There's something you don't know about Victoria. Back in school, her beauty caused the death of someone. A boy. It was awful, sir. The boy died after seeing her face. She's cursed." Dennis's father's eyes widened in shock. "What? A boy died because of her beauty?" "Yes," Bella continued, her voice low and serious. "Everyone in school knew about it. That's why she always covered her face. But then your son, Dennis, he got close to her and, well, let's just say they became very intimate. That's why she doesn't cover her face anymore. But sir, there's more. Anyone who breaks up with her dies instantly. She's evil." Dennis's father stared at her, unable to believe what he was hearing. "Are you sure about this?" Bella nodded firmly. "I wouldn't lie about something so serious. I'm only telling you this because I care about Dennis. He's a good person, and I don't want him to end up in danger. Please, sir, you have to make sure he stays far away from her." Dennis's father shook his head, still trying to process the information. "Thank God I never accepted their relationship. I knew there was something strange about her. Now it all makes sense." Bella smiled inwardly, feeling proud of her performance. "You're doing the right thing, sir. Just keep Dennis away from her, for his own safety." Dennis's father leaned back in his chair, his mind racing. "What did you say your name was again?" Bella hesitated for a moment before replying. "Grace, sir. My name is Grace." Dennis's father nodded. "Thank you for coming to me with this, Grace. I will make sure to handle it." Bella nodded, keeping her fake concerned look intact. "You're welcome, sir. I just hope Dennis will be safe." With that, she left the restaurant, her heart racing with excitement. As she stepped outside, Bella laughed quietly to herself. "Perfect," she whispered. "Now Dennis's father will surely put an end to their relationship, and if he does, Victoria will go back to hiding her face. Let's see how she deals with this." Dennis's father arrived home that evening, his face clouded with anger. He slammed the door behind him, startling Dennis's mother, who was setting the table for dinner. "What's wrong, dear?" she asked, looking at him with concern. He threw his coat onto the couch and paced back and forth. "What's wrong? Everything is wrong," he barked. "This nonsense about Dennis and that girl, Victoria. I just found out something shocking." Dennis's mother stopped what she was doing and looked at him. "What are you talking about?" He turned to her, his face red with frustration. I went to a restaurant today and I was approached by one of their school friends, someone named Grace. She told me the truth about Victoria. Grace? Dennis's mother asked, confused. What truth? She said Victoria is dangerous. She told me that Victoria's beauty killed someone in their school. A boy died just from looking at her face. And she said anyone who breaks up with her will die. She's cursed. Dennis's mother's eyes widened in shock. What? Who told you this? A stranger at a restaurant. And you believed her? Yes, I believed her, he snapped. It explains everything. Her beauty, her sparkling eyes, the mystery surrounding her. Can't you see it? She's not normal. She's dangerous. Dennis's mother shook her head, refusing to accept it. This doesn't make sense. Victoria is a sweet girl. She's polite, well-mannered, and brilliant. How can you just believe some random person without proof? Dennis's father raised his voice. Don't be naive, woman. Just look at her. No ordinary person looks that perfect. Grace even said that Victoria stopped covering her face because Dennis slept with her. That girl is pure trouble, and I won't let my son ruin his life with her. Dennis's mother stood her ground. And I think you're being unreasonable. You don't even know this Grace person. How can you trust her words so easily? Why didn't she say this sooner if it's true? And if Victoria is so dangerous, why didn't Dennis die when he got close to her? That doesn't matter, Dennis's father shouted. There are things you don't understand. I will do whatever it takes to protect my son, even if it means breaking their relationship myself. Dennis's mother's voice softened. If you love Dennis, you should let him decide who he wants to be with. Don't ruin his happiness because of some baseless rumor. He pointed a finger at her. I won't stand here and let you defend that girl. Dennis will marry someone I approve of, not someone who carries a curse. Dennis's mother sighed deeply, shaking her head. You're making a mistake. You will regret this if you push too hard. Dennis's father didn't reply. He stormed off to his study, slamming the door behind him. Dennis's mother sat down, her heart heavy with worry. She knew her husband loved their son, but his stubbornness was about to cause trouble for the entire family. Dennis came back home that evening, his mind still filled with everything that had happened. His mother was sitting in the living room, waiting for him. When he walked in, she immediately told him what she had heard. Dennis, his mother began, your father told me something. He met a girl there, and she told him something about Victoria. She said Victoria is dangerous, that any man who stays with her will die. I don't know how true it is, but your father is concerned. Dennis stared at his mother, his mind racing. What's her name? Who told him all this? She said her name was Grace, his mother replied. Dennis felt a rush of anger. Grace. I have had enough of her lies. I won't let her destroy everything. This time, I'm dealing with her for good. His mother looked at him with concern, but didn't say anything more. Dennis quickly took out his phone and dialed his police friend. It's urgent, he said when his friend picked up. I need you to arrest Grace. She's been blackmailing me, and I won't let her get away with it. Keep her in custody until I tell you otherwise. His friend agreed, and soon Grace was arrested. Dennis didn't want to take any chances. He didn't want Grace to hurt him and Victoria any more than she already had. When everything was settled, Dennis returned home. I've dealt with it, Mum, he told her. Grace won't be a problem anymore. She's a blackmailer, and she'll face the consequences. His mother gave him a small smile. I'm glad you're taking control, Dennis. One afternoon, as Dennis and Victoria were walking hand in hand, laughing and enjoying each other's company, they passed a restaurant where Dennis' father was eating. The sight of them together made him furious. So they're still together, he muttered to himself, clenching his fists in anger. This girl is really a witch. She's the reason everything is falling apart in my life. He could feel his anger building. My company is going down, and the more I think about it, the more I believe she's the cause. Dennis's father had made up his mind. He was going to do whatever it took to separate them. He would use his wealth to get rid of Victoria, even if it meant offering her money. He immediately made plans to invite Victoria over to his house. When she arrived, she was surprised to find that they were alone in the living room. She sat down, unsure of what to expect, thinking that maybe Dennis's father would finally have a kind word for her, but instead his tone was harsh. I'll give you 50 million Naira, Dennis' father said, his eyes cold. If you agree to stay away from my son, I will give you the money. Leave him alone. Victoria looked him in the eye, unshaken. "Sir, my love for Dennis can't be bought with money. I will never leave him. No amount of money will change that." Dennis' father's face turned red with anger. He stood up, his voice rising. "Then be ready to join your ancestors. I don't want you in this family. I have a wife and my son will soon marry her. You're nothing but trouble." Victoria remained calm, even though his words stung. "I'm sorry, sir, I cannot do that." Just then, Dennis's father's phone rang. It was an important call from his company. The man who wanted to buy part of his business was on the line, asking if they were still going to go ahead with the sale. "Yes," Dennis's father answered quickly, trying to hide his frustration. "I need an hour to think about it." Victoria looked at him. "Excuse me, sir, did I hear you right? You want to sell part of your company?" Dennis's father was too angry to care. "Yes, I am. What's it to you?" Victoria looked him in the eye, a confident calmness in her voice. "Sir, don't sell your shares. The market is down now, but in a week it will skyrocket. Your business will do better than ever before. If you have the money, you can buy more goods now that they're cheap. Or you can borrow money to fill your warehouse. This is going to be the biggest sales in history." Dennis's father laughed mockingly. "You little girl, what do you know about business? You think you can tell me what to do with my company?" Ridiculous. Victoria didn't back down. "Sir, please believe me. You don't have to take my word for it. Here's the deal. If it doesn't work out like I said, you can do whatever you want to me. But if it does, you will see how much profit you'll make." Dennis's father looked at her in disbelief. He had heard enough. "Okay, young woman, you can go now. I don't need your advice, and I certainly don't need you in my family. Just make sure you stay away from my son." Victoria stood up, her head held high, and left without saying another word. She knew she had done the right thing. Time would tell if Dennis's father would take her advice or not, but she was confident that she had given him the best chance to turn things around. After Victoria left Dennis's father's house, he couldn't stop thinking about what she had said. Could she be right? He stared out of the window, his mind racing with questions. The idea of her advice turning his business around seemed almost too good to be true. He scratched his head, unsure. Why do I believe this girl? Or has she bewitched me, he wondered. She better not have. If this doesn't work out, I'll deal with her myself. But despite his doubts, Dennis's father made the decision to follow through with her advice. He picked up the phone and called his company. Hold off on selling anything for the next 2 weeks, he instructed. Buy more goods, borrow money if you have to. Just do it. His manager hesitated, clearly surprised. Sir, business is bad. Are you sure about this? We can't keep spending money when things are this bad. Keep quiet and obey me, Dennis's father snapped, ending the call abruptly. He sat back in his chair, the weight of his decision settling in. I hope this works. If it doesn't, I'll make her pay for giving me false hope. A week passed and Dennis's father was on the edge of his seat, waiting for news. When he got the report from his manager, his eyes nearly popped out of his head. Sir, everything is sold out. We've made more profit than we ever imagined. This is incredible. He couldn't believe his ears. All of Victoria's advice had come true. His company had sold everything and profits were through the roof. He was filled with excitement and disbelief. How could this be? She was right, he muttered, still trying to process everything. He had doubted her, but now he couldn't deny that she had helped save his business. Overcome with happiness, he immediately picked up the phone and called Dennis. Son, come home right now, he said, his voice full of excitement. We need to fix the wedding date. I want you to marry Victoria as soon as possible. Dennis was shocked. He had never seen his father so happy, and he was even more surprised by the mention of fixing the wedding date. Dad, what are you saying? He asked. You want me to marry Victoria already? His father laughed, his face glowing with pride. Yes, Dennis, she is my special daughter-in-law. I knew there was something extraordinary about her, but everyone missed it. They said she was possessed, but they were wrong. She has a gift, she saved my company, and I owe her everything. Dennis stood still, processing his father's words. He had always known Victoria was special to him, but hearing his father speak so highly of her made him even more certain of his feelings. Wow, Dad, you're calling her your daughter-in-law already? His father nodded, still smiling. Of course. I know what I've seen. Now tell her to come over tomorrow. I want to see her and thank her properly. She deserves it. Dennis smiled, feeling the weight of the moment. It wasn't just his father's approval that mattered now. He knew he had found someone who truly understood him, someone who had changed his life for the better. The wedding date was set, and the news spread quickly. Everyone in town was talking about how Dennis and Victoria were finally getting married, and that included Bella. When she heard the news, rage boiled inside her. "How are they still together?" she muttered to herself, clenching her fists. "I won't let this happen. I will make sure Victoria never makes it to that wedding." Determined to put an end to everything, Bella went to see a local prophet, known for her dark powers. The prophet's house was filled with strange, mysterious objects, incense burning, candles flickering in the dimly lit room. Bella told the prophet everything, how Victoria had ruined her life and how she had to be stopped. "I want her dead. Can you do it?" Bella demanded. The prophet looked at her with piercing eyes and shook her head slowly. "No, I cannot," she said, her voice low and steady. "Victoria's spirit is far too strong for anything I can do. She is protected by forces beyond your understanding." Bella's eyes narrowed with frustration. "Then what do you suggest?" she hissed. The prophet, calm but firm, repeated, "It is impossible. There is no way to harm her. Let it go." Bella stormed out of the prophet's house, feeling more angry than ever. "I won't give up that easily," she muttered as she walked away. "If I can't get rid of her with magic, I will use something else." Her thoughts turned dark as she headed to an abandoned, unfinished building on the outskirts of town. Inside, a group of dangerous men waited, armed and ready. Bella had worked with them before, and they knew her well. She pulled out Victoria's photo from her purse and showed it to them. "I need you to take care of her. I don't care how. Do whatever it takes. Just make sure she never sees her wedding day." The men stared at the photo, then without warning, they all started shaking violently. Their eyes went wide with terror as they screamed, "No, we can't do it. Her spirit, it's too powerful." Before Bella could react, the men suddenly went blind, their eyes turning completely white. They stumbled around, disoriented and screaming. Bella froze in fear, realizing too late that something far more dangerous was at play. Panic set in as the men shouted in horror, "We can't touch her! Get away from us!" In a flash of terror and confusion, Bella fled the building, running as fast as she could. Her mind was racing. "What is going on?" she thought, panic creeping into her heart. "Why is this happening? Why can't I stop her?" Back at home, Bella slammed the door shut behind her, trembling with anger. "I will not let them marry. Over my dead body, Victoria will not take what is mine," she hissed through clenched teeth. "I will find another way. I won't stop until she's gone." As Bella walked down the street, her mind was racing with thoughts of how to destroy Victoria and Dennis's happiness. She had already tried everything, and failure seemed to be her only companion. But she wasn't about to give up. She was determined to find a way, no matter the cost. Her journey to seek out another prophet took her down a busy road, and she was lost in her thoughts when suddenly a car came speeding down the street. The driver didn't see her in time. There was a loud screech of tires, and then the impact. Bella was thrown to the ground, her body lifeless for a moment. The world around her spun as the darkness closed in. When Bella woke up, she was in a hospital room. Her body ached, her head throbbed, and the pain was unbearable. She opened her eyes slowly, blinking against the harsh hospital light. Her sister sat beside her, watching helplessly as Bella's face twisted in pain. After a few moments of silence, Bella gathered enough strength to speak. "I need to tell you something," Bella whispered, her voice weak but filled with regret. I am responsible for everything that has happened to Victoria and Dennis. I was the one who caused all the pain and trouble. I did everything to ruin their happiness." Her sister's eyes widened in shock. "Bella, what are you saying? What do you mean? I was the one behind everything. The lies, the manipulation. I couldn't stand seeing Victoria happy, seeing her with Denise. I thought if I could break them apart, I'd have a chance. But I was wrong," Bella said, tears flowing down her cheeks. "Now I've ruined everything. I'm so sorry, and I don't know how to fix it. Please, help me apologize. Help me make things right." Her sister was silent for a moment, trying to process Bella's words. "Bella, you have to tell them. You have to confess everything, or it'll never be right." I know, but I can't do it alone. Please, I need you to call them for me. Tell them I'm sorry. Tell them I was wrong," Bella pleaded. Her sister nodded slowly, heartbroken at seeing Bella like this. "Okay, Bella, I'll do it. But you need to promise me you'll change. You need to stop hurting people." "I will," Bella whispered, her eyes closing as exhaustion overtook her. "I just want them to forgive me. Please make it right." After a few hours, Bella's sister, with tears in her eyes, called Dennis and Victoria. She explained everything that had happened, revealing the truth behind Bella's actions, the jealousy, the manipulation, and the dark intentions. She begged for their forgiveness, saying that Bella was deeply sorry for the pain she had caused. Dennis and Victoria were shocked at the revelation, but they appreciated the honesty. They were still hurt by everything that had happened, but they understood that Bella's actions were driven by her own pain and jealousy. They agreed to forgive her, though they knew it would take time to heal the wounds. The next day, as Bella's condition worsened, she could feel the weight of her actions sinking in. She had confessed, and now there was nothing more she could do. Her sister stayed by her side, holding her hand as Bella's breathing slowed. "I'm so sorry," Bella whispered one last time before closing her eyes. Her sister cried, knowing that Bella's regrets had come too late, leaving behind the broken pieces of a life built on anger and envy. The next day, Grace was released from the police station. She had been wrongly imprisoned, and when she heard about Bella's death, she felt a strange sense of relief. Finally, the truth had come out. A month later, the long-awaited day arrived. Dennis and Victoria, stronger than ever, were married in a grand ceremony. The event was filled with joy and love, attended by many important people, men of timber and caliber. The couple exchanged vows, and as they sealed their promise to each other with a kiss, the crowd erupted in applause. Victoria's face glowed with happiness. It had been a long, difficult journey, but she had finally found peace. Dennis held her close, his love for her shining in his eyes. Together they had overcome all obstacles, and now nothing could tear them apart. As the celebration continued, the past seemed like a distant memory. Bella's anger, jealousy, and actions were forgotten, replaced by the joy of a new beginning. The couple's love had triumphed over all the darkness that had tried to break them, and as the night went on, they danced together, knowing that their love would last forever. And so their story came to a close, filled with lessons of love and forgiveness. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.